Learning is the key to successful investing, and who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest.
All right, so it's been interesting to see what's been happening maybe over the last couple of days or so. Now we have 2 offers on the market, which I'm sure everybody has heard about by now as at the point of this recording. And it's very interesting that I haven't seen any broker reviews on Atlantic. Let me know if you've seen any. I haven't seen any, which is interesting to me. The offer has been out almost 2 weeks now, as in open for about 2 weeks now, I think. Maybe a little more, a little less, I'm not sure. But I haven't seen a broker review, haven't seen any advice to participate or not participate or anything like that. It's kind of strange to me. Let me know what you think about that. Have you seen anything? Have you heard anything? Are you talking about it at all? Let me know. I'm quite curious about that one. But what I wanted to talk about tonight here mainly is a couple of things. So I saw a few broker reviews on the TransJamaican offer that's out right now. It's an offer for sale, not an IPO. And there's a bit of confusion about that as well. Actually, I see on some platforms it's listed as an IPO. So a lot of people think it's an IPO. It's not quite. Well, it's not. It's not even a not quite. It's not. And so I thought I'd just say that first, because persons keep referring to it as an IPO, which I think may be confusing some new investors, maybe even some persons who are experienced as well. Let me know if you agree with that. But I wanted to talk about 2 things today, right? First thing is my favorite, which is dividends. We're going to talk about that. And 2, I saw a very interesting price target for TransJamaican. Now I have my own targets for price, which I will not say because I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and so I can't say that, not openly anyway. But we'll see what the brokers have to say, and we'll just kind of go through their reasons and let's see what this means, right? So the very first thing I'll get into, because I don't want it to be missed, is I thought this was interesting to see today, right? And yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen because this is what I was expecting. So I was pleasantly surprised because if you do research like I do, which is one of the things we teach in our monthly investment challenge, we teach you how to do research, how to look for different patterns, etc. So when I saw this offer for TransJamaican come out at this time, I thought the time was interesting. And I was like, I wonder what this will mean for their dividend consideration. And so here we go, right? So today, just a few hours ago, we saw that the board of directors for TransJamaican Highway has scheduled a meeting on Monday, March 17th to consider the payment of an interim dividend to ordinary shareholders. And if you don't understand the importance of this consideration and the date that they're going to be meeting, which I think the date is very interesting, by the way. And I won't get into all of that. I shared that in the challenge community already. We spoke about TransJamaican, I think, a week and a half ago, right? So when the offer first came out, we spoke about it. We spoke about what things we're expecting to kind of play out. And we had one question, and it was what would they do relating to the dividend? That was the only thing that we're trying to understand, right? And so I would have naturally reached out to Ivan Anderson. He has been on our platform before. And I said, Ivan, what is going to happen here in terms of the dividend? What are you going to do? And he gave me his response as like, this is not really clear, Ivan. And then he was on taking stock this week. And so I asked the question again, and Kalila actually, asked him what's going to happen. And he said what he said. And I was like, it's similar to the answer he gave me, but it wasn't fully clear as well. But I was like, you know what? I expect that they will be. TransJamaica strikes me as a company that does a lot to consider its shareholders. I've watched their AGMs. I've spoken to Ivan personally. I really recommend that you watch the interview I did with him. A lot of the things we discussed in that interview almost a year ago is very relevant still today in the future of the company. So if you're considering this offer, you want to understand a bit more about the company, our interview with Ivan Anderson is one of the best interviews that he has ever done, right? And that's not bias. It just is, right? We spoke for well over an hour. And it's so interesting when we were doing the interview, actually, light went. I'd hope I would have edited that out well. But when we were doing the interview, light went. He had to wait for a few minutes for my light to come back and for us to reconnect. So I had to ask him over a couple of questions. If you watch the recording, you may notice like a little blip in it. That's because my light went, right? But I thought, so that interview I did with him was the first time he mentioned publicly about paying 2 dividends. So when TransJamaica paid the 2 dividends last year, I was not surprised because he said it. I think the interview we did with him was October 2023. So he said it that they were looking into the possibility of paying dividends twice per year, and what their concern was the administration, because we spoke about would they pay a quarterly dividend, what the future looks like, where they're going in terms of technology, etc. So really, again, really worth the watch if you're interested at all in this company. It helps to understand. So watch our interview with him, watch all of the taking stock interviews he's done as well. Very helpful for you to understand the company, because there's a lot that is not said in the report, and there's more context that you can get when you hear from the leader of a company directly, right? So yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, I'm not surprised, because last year their dividend consideration notice was March 1st. And so when I saw the offer come out, I saw the open date, and I said, okay, at some point in here, they're going to mention something about the dividend. The dividend is either going to be after the offer closes, because if you think about it, 2 things here, right? I thought about whether or not, first I looked at the government's position and I said, okay, you're going to possibly be foregoing 450 million in dividends, because I did the calculation based on what they paid last year, 450 million. I did the math, right? And so that's why I was saying, and Robert Kennedy, if you're watching, we need to have a conversation, because Robert responded to my comment and saying, some other things about, I don't even remember what he said right now, but Robert, if you're watching, buy me a drink and we can talk about investment and how the government should do it, etc., right? But I thought about the government's position, because what I was saying is that they're getting 450 million every year from dividends by holding these 2.5 billion shares. And so I thought about it, okay, are they going to sell the shares and forego that dividend, or are they going to do the notice such that they still get the dividend, and then whoever is going to be the new shareholders gets the shares without the dividends? When I thought about that, that didn't make sense to me, because you would feel shorted. Imagine you just bought into an offer, they do a dividend announcement, and you don't get the dividend because you got it too late. A lot of new shareholders will be frustrated, angry at the company. That wouldn't go well. So I said, okay, what's the next alternative? The next alternative is to probably do the consideration close to when the offer is going to close. And then when the offer closes, you're likely going to already be a shareholder when that dividend is announced. Almost like here's a nice gift. You're a brand new shareholder, and within the first month, you get a dividend, right? There's another piece to that. I won't mention it here. Those who are in the challenge, we'll talk about it tomorrow because tomorrow is our monthly investment challenge meeting. I have a lot more to say about TransJamaica. I'll say it on that call, right? So before I go through the price targets, which is very interesting, right? So I want you guys to tell me. So I say Orville saying $100 sound good. Listen to me. I'm gonna go through the price targets in a second, but I want you to tell me, with everything you know of TransJamaica right now, what do you think is considered a reasonable and fair price? Now don't normally do price predictions here or anything like that. I don't really subscribe to that in general, but it's interesting to me that one, I'm seeing all of these come out for TransJamaica, none for Atlantic. I said that already. And two, I'm also interested, of course, as to the timing of it. Now, I'm hearing stories of all the brokers being packed, long lines, and all of this stuff. Sometimes it's just stories, but I'm hearing it from some credible sources, right? So Orville is saying $100. I personally would not mind to see $100, and I'm remembering my conversation with Simon. So let me just say this. I didn't say this at the start. Now you notice we don't do our disclaimer in front of our videos anymore, and that's because the format has changed. I'm not really talking about companies in the same way anymore, so I think it's even more obvious. I'm not giving financial advice, but let me just say here for full transparency, I think everybody knows I am a shareholder of TransJamaica. I think that's been obvious for a while. So I'll just say that before I go any further, right? I am me, ENT. I hope you're saying 10 million because it can't be $10 you're saying, right? Omar says 450. Omar, it was 498 3 months ago, and your target is 450. Come on, man. Humble Boss saying 550 would be fair. Okay. There are 76 persons here. How come I'm only seeing three responses? Guys, please tell me what your target. So what I'm hoping to do is see a range, right? So I want more persons to share. And while you're here, take a minute to like the video. I haven't asked for that in a minute. Take a minute also to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And also I'll ask you to share our video about, is the TransJamaica share offer worth it, to anybody who you think is considering the offer because they may not understand it, right? All right, so Sean says my target price is 618. Sean, you're one of those persons I want to meet and have a talk with, because Sean and I used to be friends. I'm not friends with Sean anymore. Sean knows why. Sean said my price target is 618 if the first quarter this year meets the net profit target I used, otherwise 570. All right, sir. Okay. Denville says $20. Gavin said $30 easy. Amara says 450 conservatively. Trishana says 6. Starling says my wife has a spare 450K. By spare I mean it's just in an account and not allocated doing to anything. It's not even savings. I'm like, babe, TransJamaica is a steal. She declined my suggestions. You know what? He who finds a wife finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord. That's what I'll say to you, Starlink. Listen to your wife. She balances you out, right? So you sound a little bit aggressive. She may be conservative. Find the middle ground, and you can help to balance out the risk that you probably are taking. Tabari says currently $7 sound fair. Patrick says $10. Warrell said repeat the question, and I said Diane was asking as well. What do you think is a fair price for TransJamaica right now? If you have not if you don't see any other information come out, if you don't need to learn anything else, what would be a fair price for you right now? Denville says $20 long term, 6 to 8 by year end. Gary says 10. Beauty Bar says 10. Target within what time period? 1 year, $10 is good. $6 in 2 years. Guys, what you getting all this nuance about timeline? What's your target price for TransJamaica right now? What's your fair price for TransJamaica right now? Right? Is this Lisa? Lisa? Seriously? Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. I'll see. Guys, Lisa is one of our OGs, right? Lisa. Well, I'm thinking it's the same Lisa. Good to see you here. Levine says, what timeline are you talking about? Right after allocation or long term? Candice says $10. Levine says $430 to $470. All right, I see some of you have some realistic expectations, and some of you, I don't know if you know the stock that you're looking at, right? You see Diane, $380. That's my kind of price target. That's my kind of price target for sure. Yeah. Okay, cool. I like this, right? So, plus it helps me to know who is here, right? All right, cool. So let's get into some of these price targets, right? And I think it's very interesting because I think one, when you go through a price target, so I said this in our challenge community as well, and as I said, I'm inviting everybody. If you're not a part of the challenge now, consider joining it, because it's where we help you to so the number one question that I get is, which stocks do I buy and how I know which stocks to buy, right? And of course, I say to people, I can't tell you that because I'm not a financial advisor, but what I can do is show you how to do research, how to understand what's happening with a company, and how to go about making a decision based on what matters to you as an investor. That's what we discuss in the challenge, right? Sean, I would love to see you in the challenge because you and I think would have some really good conversations, right? James said that's not realistic. James, we're not talking about what's well, yes, I was talking about realism. It's not realistic, but I mean, Diane is going. Listen, if TransJamaica gets to $380, they would have made a lot of new millionaires in Jamaica, I'm sure, right? A lot of 10,000 units and 20,000 units would still become like millionaires because that would be valued a lot. Of course, the millionaires would become billionaires, and so the wealth gap would pretty much remain the same. But anyway, okay. So I'm going to go through these target prices, and if it looks like I'm kind of taking my time, if you notice, I haven't gone live in like over a week. So I kind of missed you guys, some of you anyway. I didn't miss all of you. I missed some of you, right? But I'm going to go through this, and what I will say is that, and this is what I say in our challenge community as well. Always take a broker analysis with a grain of salt. One, think about what's in it for them, meaning look at what they're looking at, what they say in the analysis. And the good thing is here we have I have four equity analysis for it, so you have enough of a sample size to kind of take out some of the things that are consistent, look for some of the outliers, and come up with something that you think is reasonable based on everything that you've seen here. So I'll put these PDFs that I'm going to use in the challenge community and in the general community as well, because they're publicly available. All right. So let me say what Orville is saying. Is like you pull a gun on us in the group. Why a challenge? Sir, listen, Orville, we have given so much value to our community, to our audience for free, sir. Orville, I'm not even going to read too much into what you're saying. The challenge is not for somebody like you, Orville, an expert, somebody who knows what they're doing, somebody who has millions of dollars. Because Orville, you see, Orville low key probably have like 50 million shares. I heard a story at IPO that somebody took a margin or an unsecured loan for $50 million and bought TransJamaican. That was Orville. All right. So Unknown says I'm always late. Turn on notifications. Join the free community, and you'll see I'll always send a notification there when I'm going live. Right. I see you're feeling well now. Or is it the upcoming? I'm not 100%. I'm about 60% better. You can probably hear it in my voice still. I'm not fully recovered yet, but I noticed my spirits lifted and I had to come and do a video. All right. No man, Orville, we're cool. We're cool, Orville. All right, so let me share my screen. The very first one we're gonna look at is JN Fund Managers, right? JN Fund Managers, I think they've been consistent with their equity research, meaning I've seen more and more analysis from them. I haven't seen one for Atlantic, but I've seen a lot from them, right? So their target price is $4.56, right? You're seeing it here on the right. So the offer price is $3.60. We all know that implied discount is 21%. So what they're saying is if you purchase through the offer, you're looking at a potential 21% upside. And forward EPS, that's forward earnings per share, and the projected dividend yield is 5.59%. Okay, all right. So I won't go through like the introductions or anything like that. I'll go to the meat. And the meat for me is what they say is their reasons for their target price. That's the part that I'm interested in here. All of this, I'm assuming you know, because like 5,000 persons watched our last video on the TransJamaica offer. So I'm assuming that you've all watched that. So we covered the offer already. If not, you can watch that video. All right. So all of this you should know. And by the way, there was an addendum released for this as well for TransJamaica that I'll talk about a little later. Right. So corporate governance, I see some names here that I know, quite interesting to see there. Two names stand out here. Okay, but I'll go through. Okay, so outlook and strategy, very important to go through because a part of their estimated fair value is based on their outlook, right? So TJH has proven its capability in executing its business model. Consequently, management is confident in both the short and medium to long term. They're well positioned to pursue substantial opportunities within and beyond Jamaica to foster growth. That beyond Jamaica is interesting because Ivan mentioned something on taking stock again, right? Spoke about Kayana, spoke about opportunities again. Those were things, again, if you watched past interviews, if you watch our interview and stuff like that, those things were kind of clear, meaning the opportunities were always there. Now the fact that they're mentioning it means it's probably closer to reality than before. So that was interesting to see. 2024 cabinet approved their offer of 20 million US to operate and collect toll fees. This is toll on the newly constructed phase 1C. TJH has also formally expressed its interest in bidding for the Montego Bay bypass toll road in St. James, which forms a part of the larger Montego Bay perimeter road project, right? And by the way, let me just say this. If you're planning to buy this offer, you've bought into this offer, or you own TransJamaica stock and you don't know any of these things, you shouldn't invest that way. Make sure you understand what's happening with the company before you invest. You need to know what you're buying. Don't just buy because everybody's talking about it. Don't just buy because there's hype or anything like that. Know what you're buying, right? Please. So ongoing commercial developments in the neighboring areas, that's a big thing as well. I asked about this, the development of the gas station, so they're close to that. Well, construction started, and we saw from RPL that a new gas station takes 6 to 9 months. They had some delays. I don't know if they'll have any delays here, but I mean, Rubis they have like dozens of gas stations in Jamaica, right? They've done it for quite a while. Now, I would have loved to see that gas station be a FESCO or an RPL, by the way. I would have loved that, but because Rubis is not listed yet, or I don't know if they plan to list, let me say that. Increase utilization of automated collection models, such as additional T-tag. So what Ivan said is that more, I think he said 50 to 70%. Guys, let me know. What did he say about the number of persons using tag now? Because he did say that number increased, which is awesome, right? That's good to see. The group intends to build additional interchanges along the highways, which are expected to lead enhanced traffic flow and increase connectivity. All of this is very, very important stuff to understand, right? Financial analysis, I won't go through that. You get that from the report. Valuation analysis, right? I don't know if all of them will share this, but this is the basis for which they came up with the 456, right? So they're using FCFE, that's free cash flow, right? FCF, I think so. I don't remember the acronyms right now. Required rate of return is 13.57%, and free cash flow for 2025 estimated up to 2030. And then they're going up to 2036, I imagine here, because that's is it a 10-year timeline? Let me not even go into any of that now. But their valuation estimate is $456 per share based on their particular model, right? And you have different valuation models. You have different ways to do it. You have different estimates in terms of the different variables that are used. And so I won't get into that now in this forum. They have a number of 456, right? And the reason why this may be considered realistic is that we've seen it before 98, right? There are some positives and negatives. I think it's very important to understand them both. So let me speak about the negatives for this one, because I think we covered the positive a lot of times already. So the current concession agreement ends 2036, JN. That's an error. Ivan spoke to that. They will have the opportunity to renew it. So it's not like it ends in 2036 and that's it. They do have the opportunity to renew. Disaster risk, natural disasters, etc., COVID, etc. Traffic risk. Don't know if that's a real risk here, but fair enough. Technological and cybersecurity risk. Okay. I hear Ryan George say fair enough. that's what went to my head a while ago. I've been watching a lot of pitch meetings recently. Let me see here. Network, all of this. Okay, all right. So that's Jane Fund Managers. This one, I'm not ready for that one yet. This one is from NCB. Let's go to this one. Now let's say NCB's after Scotia Investments. By the way, I think Scotia announced a dividend today. Is it today? I really need to do an analysis of Scotia, right? Because when I did the video about my concern about the financial companies, spoke about Scotia, I need to look into the company, right? Because I'm hearing some good things, I'm seeing some good things. I may have to add it to my watch list, who knows, right? All right, so let me continue here. A 45-cent dividend? What's the price now? What's the yield on that? That 45 cent? Is that an interim dividend or final dividend? All right. By the way, guys, Limitless podcast did a video today on dividend investing. Matthew or Thean, if you guys are here, I need to talk about your dividend video. Okay. All right. So target price for Scotia Investments $4.07. Interesting target, right? And I have some statistics here. Market price currently. By the way, the fact that TransJamaica's price is holding, I think today it ended. Today it ended 387, right? And now 387 with this dividend consideration, my guess it's probably gonna be 395 or maybe even $4 Monday, right? Just bear that in mind. So 52-week price range, price to earnings ratio 11.8. It's actually pretty good. Price to book, price to sales. Not many people know about the price to sales ratio. It's actually a good ratio to know as well. Price appreciation, industry PE being 16 is interesting to me, right? That you have a target price of $4.07 when you're saying the PE is 11.8 and the industry PE is 16, right? Which means there's a lot more room for that target price, actually. Scotia is what I'll say here. The dividend yield is not 4%. It's actually higher than that, but okay. Market cap, shares outstanding, fiscal year, fair value. Oh, okay. So I read this wrong. Their fair value is 462. Their target price is 407, and the target end date March 2026. Interesting. So they are saying the fair value here is 462, and they're projecting that the price for as at March 26 will be 407. That is interesting. That is interesting. And they show some other statistics here. Okay, I don't know if those numbers are investment thesis, right? And those in the challenge, you've seen this word thesis before, right? So let me read the thesis. Attractive dividends, toll rates are tied to the US inflation and USD JMD exchange rate, major housing and commercial developments along toll corridors, diversification of revenues, development and expansion of toll roads, technological improvements. Key risks, toll fees are primary source of revenue, like, okay. Risk of toll traffic declines due to deviation from traffic from alternative roads or economic downturns, natural disasters. Jamaicans dislike traffic. I know people, my wife is one of these people, that traffic agitates them, it annoys them. I have a friend, Stephen, I'm calling you out by name, who is allergic to traffic, right? So I remember when the toll just came out and everybody's like, nobody's gonna pay $1,000 or $1,200 to save a half an hour. You can just drive the regular way. Nobody does that. Everybody wants to save that 20 minutes. Nobody wants to, even if the toll route is longer, people like the idea of not having to drive and stop behind another car. That for a lot of people is worth the $2,000, right? So here you go. All right. They used a dividend discount model. Okay, that makes sense. And a cost of equity of 10% derives a fair value of 462. A 12-month target price of 407 was calculated using relative valuation. Okay, all right, cool, fair enough. Outlook will be impacted by continued developments along the toll corridor, technology improvements, as well as further extension of the toll road over the long term. This includes the development of 15,000 housing units, and this reminds me of the traffic numbers. Last year, December, they had their highest traffic numbers in history, right? That's my question as well, Starlink. That's actually my question as well. But it is what it is, right? The company's plans to establish. Is my camera shaking? Oh, I have a new setup, and so me shaking the desk shakes the camera. Okay, that can't work. All right, additional impetus is expected from the facilitation of debit card payments, which should also reduce some operational expenses of the firm. I'm not sure I agree with that one because when they have the debit card, unless the debit card fees, would it be that the persons doing the transaction are the only ones who would pay? I'm not fully clear as to whether or not this would be cheaper for a company. I have a point of sale machine, well, an online one, and I have to pay monthly. I have to pay per transaction, and it's very, very irritating. That's the thing here. That's a general theme so far, Levine, right? They're being very conservative, which is okay, right? And each broker has a personality as well, right? Again, I'll get into that on the challenge, but the more you read different brokers, how they look at the market, how they review companies, you can know the conservative ones, you know the risky ones, you know the unrealistic ones, and so on. Right? Where am I? On the revenue side, it is anticipated that they will get a near-term boost with the commencement of tolls on the Maypen. And Ivan said that it is expected that the traffic will be about 11,000 to 15,000, I think he said, new cars, right? Um, Meanwhile, they will also continue to benefit from. So this is what I love to see because a lot of people miss this, right? Look at their revenues for last year, which is the most revenues they've had, most profits they've had, probably most revenues as well. They have the ability to raise that rate July 1st, right? Bear that in mind. Um, Okay, all right. So I like this format for the review though. I love these stats, these ratios, etc. Notice the PE have been pretty much consistent here, which is good. Share price. I remember these days. I remember these days like it was yesterday when nobody was talking about TransJamaica, and all I heard was how much debt they have and how much risk it is, and so on and so forth. Fun times, right? Dividend yield has gone down because the price has gone up. Total return is that there, gross profit margins, etc. You can read the report for that. It's good to see the RSI index, right? Oh my gosh, there's so much to say here. I'll talk about that another time. Disclaimer. Okay, all right. So I'll look at the next one. Let me get some comments in here first. Why has it been 38 minutes already? Orville, you are an expert. I know you know that. Well, I agree with you in terms of my wife balancing me out. She's all out and I'm all in. Employing an aggressive strategy this year. Last year wasn't bad, but this year has greater potential. Starlink, you're right. I think this is going to be a great year. I am positioning myself. I'm taking actually a more risk this year than I normally take. I made a major financial decision recently. I don't know if I'll talk about it here. Probably will. But I'll tell you guys about it. But interesting times ahead for me. Um, James, I appreciate you. Appreciate you, James. Levine, well, I ordered crumbs compared to Jermaine. I ordered crumbs too. Well, maybe not crumbs. Maybe I'd say I ordered a loaf of bread, not the whole bread. Um, Sean, well, I don't know if Sean likes TransJamaica. Sean is a very conservative guy. Um, 380 becomes realistic. My gosh. I believe you said usage up to 50%. Okay, thank you, sir. They're now rolling with, I don't understand that statement. The report said I don't understand that statement either. Well, phase 1C comes along fully. I expect the stock to be Levain. You're being very conservative as well. You must work at Scotia, sir. Last year's dividend for Scotia was 125. Ugh. No, thank you, sir. If the dividend yield is not 1%, I'm not looking. Sorry. Has Scotia seen alternative roads? Thank you. Okay. We'll see. I read one article. Find that article for me, Sean. I'd love to see it. You're expecting 9 million US more? That's what you're saying? Because 9 million US onto 31 million US, 40 million US, that's about $5-6 billion. Okay. Yes. Yes, sir. I ordered a slice of bread. That's exactly what I ordered here. I don't know why you guys doing this to me now. Diane, what are you asking me? Am I investing more in TransJamaica? Dan, what you mean? I don't know how to answer that question. I don't think so. What is Diane asking me? Oh my gosh. You know I can't answer that question, Dan. Let me see here. I'm smiling here because of the comment by Humble Boss. Okay. All right. So 2 more reviews here. And by the way, guys, I'm actually on it's now Lent. Some of you may know. I'm actually doing a social media fast. So the only platform I'm going to be on is YouTube. So I'm not going to be streaming to any other platform when I do go live. And I'm not going to go live as often because I'm taking some time. So every year during Lent, I fast. I do a physical fast and then I do a personal fast as well. The personal fast for me is social media. And then I'm going to be doing the 21-day fast with my church. And usually for my fast, I keep it simple. Like maybe 1 meal per day, we spend time in prayer, etc. So that's why we're not streaming to any other platforms. I'm just saying that. So if you don't see us on IG, don't see us on any other platforms, I'm actually off all other platforms for the next 38 days. So Ashley, we will post them in the community group. Okay, so NCB, this is lead broker. For the offer, so they have two flavors of TransJamaica, the USD and the JMD. Prices here. So I like the 52-week range price as well. I need to work that out. Return on equity, trailing PE. Okay. NROC offer price, target price, dividend yield, total potential return 28%. Right? Participate. I love that word. Right? Yeah. Or real, so we all know the answer. I mean, actually, I can say no, right? So Diane's question about am I investing more? So I can say that I have not. Let me say it that way. Because you know what? You guys always do this to me, right? You read between the lines of what I say, and then persons have said to me, Jermaine, I see you smiling, so I know you're doing XYZ. I try not to lie. And so whenever I'm asked a question like that, I process first. When I process and I smile, people infer, right? So that's what I'll say there. Haley says you need to have the stream in the challenge group right after this. Too interesting to leave until tomorrow. Maybe I'll do both. Who knows, right? We'll see. All right. So participates here, use of proceeds. There you go. Investment positives. Continue strong financial performance. Strong dividend payer. Revenue growth and cost management initiatives. First right of refusal. Housing development. So you've heard all of that before. Risk of recession. Competition with other roadways. I don't look at this the same way others look at it, but fair enough. Interest outlook appears to be changing and could increase risk to the stock market outlook. Okay. Company overview. All right, all of those. Do I want to read this? Yeah, nah. I did a fast read. No, I don't want to read that either. Increasing secondary income. Okay, I'll read this. The company has planned to grow secondary income this year. TJH generates secondary income from leasing land space to individuals for the construction of service stations. Notice S, service stations. I'd love to know the income from that, by the way. And running telecommunication cables and fiber optics. I also notice you have billboards. I think I've seen a few Barita billboards. One day I dream to have a L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest billboard. If any one of you want to sponsor a L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest billboard for the highway, you're a community member for life. Okay. And a partnership with Rubis was announced. Work is scheduled to start 2024. Okay, less than 1% total revenues. I mean, 1% is me. All right, reading through that. Profitability. Not reading that one right now. I'm trying to keep it non-technical for those who are here who've never looked at a financial statement before, right? That's what I'm saying as well. Lori, I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. Lori, you've been negligent. I haven't seen you on the live streams. That's what I was saying. I was hoping it would be a FESCO or an RPL, but such is life. Outlook, this is what I'm waiting for. Okay. In our base case scenario, so you usually have like a base case, mid case, best case kind of thing. So base case, they anticipate that they like to see continued growth by a favorable macroeconomic outlook and a company specific revenue generating and cost containment initiatives. Importantly, the acquisition of phase 1C, and I feel like they've been talking about this for so long, they need to just do it, which raises the potential upside and profitability. Short term, we've said that before. Okay, so they're not saying anything new here. Okay, let me read this part. Overall traffic volumes grew by 4.9%. Sorry. And S&P estimates. Is this the same S&P? Is that Standard & Poor's? That's the only S&P I know. I'm not seeing any other definition here. Estimates that it will grow by 5 to 6%, range between 2.3%. Okay, I read that already. Okay, I'm not seeing anything new here. And this is their stock price performance. The US one trades differently than the JMD one, which is not surprising, but you see the volatility here versus here. So this is actually interesting to me. What this tells me is that there's maybe more trading opportunities over the USD side, but we don't know what the volume is like on the USD side, right? So there's that. But you see, of course, the growth there. Following a strong period of appreciation, the USD and GME stock prices saw notable declines, making it undervalued relative to main market companies and LATAM toll road peers. Oh, I think that's what this was, because I was wondering. Okay. I made a connection with something there. Okay. Recommend it. So this is actually quite solid. I would read this entire review by NCB. I love the information here, right? Yeah, I love the information here. So, okay, cool. Participate. Okay. All right, cool. Anya Walker. I don't think I've met her. Okay. All right. Let me take some questions before I do the last review. We're almost at an hour already, guys. I don't know how much longer I can go. If you have questions, let me know. I feel like my voice is gonna go soon. Orville is saying, beg your word of prayer so all the people that owes me pay up. You see what I'm talking about, Orville? You have people who owe you. I wish I had some people I could call for some money right now. I think I read this one already. As I said, I mean, let's see. So if by the time the stream is over, Renee is sleeping, then I'll go live. If she's not sleeping, I'm going to spend some time with my wife. Thank you very much. And everyone should learn to read a financial statement. Otherwise, you're investing blindly. Yeah, you should. Jermaine, for the number of shares you have, they should give you a free billboard. I don't know why you guys presuming I have a lot of shares, you know. I mean, all I have is a loaf of bread. So look at the entire bread. A hardo, a white hardo sliced bread. And I have the bread back. That's all I have. I have the bread back of shares, right? So look at the 12.5 billion shares. Look at the number of slices in a bread. And that little sliver is all I have. Not much. All right. Make it a vote at the next AGM for sure. Was I at the last AGM in person? No, I joined that virtually. I have my own. Listen, if you think if I had a toll booth, I'd be going live. Yeah, I probably still would. I'd go live from the toll booth. Very, you know, you guys. Yeah, bread back can still full belly. No man. Well, bread back, peanut butter, jelly, some lemonade. Yeah, I'd like that right now. All right, so the very last one, let me go through it. By far the most interesting, because, and I'll say interesting because I would have thought that Sagicor's review would have been conservative. Well, is it conservative? Probably still is. So their target price for Sagicor is $6.30. So this is the highest I've seen so far. Now I did see I see a $10 one? I don't think that one was from a broker, but yeah. Christopher, let me pause and acknowledge Christopher, right? Do you see that statement on the screen, Sean Brown? Right? I'm going to pause here and pay homage to a stock called Dolphin Cove Limited. And I'm going to bring up on the screen Dolphin Cove's price in honor of my good friend Sean Brown, right? Yes. Do you see this price, Mr. Sean Brown? Do you see that price, right? That's all I'll say, right? When I did my video, when they released their news about the bankruptcy, the price was $19.49, and I remember it. And you see this, Sean Brown? You see that? Do you see that little, you know, they say life has hills and valleys, This is what this makes me think of, right? So we have a lot to talk about tomorrow, right? A lot to talk about tomorrow in the challenge community is what I'll say, right? So week to date, 34%. That's all I'll say for now. All I'll say for now, right? Lori, okay. Okay, Candy. Candy, are you the same person I spoke to yesterday? Let me know if this is the same Candy. I gave Candy a call yesterday from our challenge community. I don't know if this is the same Candy. I mean, the future is okay. Let me give Sean a break. Dividend ratio for Dolphin Cove. I have my estimations. Christ fed the multitude with only one loaf of bread. That's not true. Which verse is that, Starlink? Give me scripture, verse, and version. I need to know if that's amplified or that's some way off Bible translation, right? Humble never stumble. You know, you guys are really okay, Sean. I see you. I see you, sir. I see you. Okay. Let's move on, right? I just think this is a very, very interesting story. Okay. All right. The road is still lump. There's only one stock. I'll allow you to use the word lumpy for, Sean. Only one stock you can use the word lumpy for, right? And we haven't reviewed them in a while. All right, so I'm feeling a little tired. I probably have to end the stream soon. All right, target price 630. Let's talk about this one, right? We want to see the reason here, right? About the offer, industry overview. I wonder if my friend Jodian did this one. I wonder if it's Jodian right this one. We haven't had Jodian on a channel in a while, right? Off of a sale, investment thesis. I hope our challenge community is seeing the word thesis, right? It's a very common thing to do, right? Strong revenue model, toll rates, hedge against devaluation. Some people miss that. Enhanced connectivity and traffic growth, cost efficiencies from acquisition, right? And I do think they have another potential acquisition, but I'll pause on that for now. Economic sensitivity for sure. Affordability and traffic diversion risk. Again, I don't agree with that one, but I get that. Affordability. People can afford fast food. They can afford the toll, is what I'll say. I'll just say, by the way, you see how the different broker guides give you different pieces of information about the same company, right? That's the one thing I'll say. I'm giving you guys some bonus here, right? Some bonus insights. And this is why one of the things I'll say to the challenge community is go through all of the broker analysis that you can. So part of your research, go and see what the brokers have to say. You always take it with a grain of salt, but it's still important to look at the information, to see what they're saying, to see how they do their analysis, because your advisor is likely from one of these brokers. And here's a little pro tip for you. Your advisor is likely going to follow the same vein or path as the analysis that you see, right? So what I mean by that is, if the broker, as in general, is conservative in their analysis, in their target prices, etc., then that advisor is more likely to be conservative because a lot of the recommendations you get from a broker or an advisor is coming from the same place, right? I'll just say that for now. All right. Dividend yield. Price to book, price to earnings, Okay. Offer for sale review, outlook. That can't be it. Okay. I thought they'd do like some calculation or something. Oh, okay. Companies that are solid debt service ratio, additional income, Okay. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Okay. So the value of TransJamaica was determined by both the comparative market approach and the discounted cash flow DCF models. And Kevin, if you're watching this, Kevin has agreed. Do I want to call him out? Kevin has agreed to join me for a video to go over the discounted cash flow valuation. We're going to do it in the challenge community first, and then may release a shorter version of it for YouTube at some point, right? Yielding an estimated target price of $6.30. For the DCF model, the projected cash flows comprised of expected net operating profit after tax and expected dividend. For the comparative market approach, an estimate was done comparing PE multiple for similar companies that are listed. The dividend discount model was based on moderate projections of a dividend for the next 5 years. I hope they used the prospectus for this. Both projected cash flows were discounted at a required rate of return of 15.75%. So you notice JN did 13, the required rate of return. I'm just showing you guys the difference here, right? Where different brokers have different kind of benchmarks. So they put required rate of return 13.57%. They have 15.75%. So I'm just showing you that it can vary. That's why the target prices can be different based on the broker, right? Which was derived using Government of Jamaica's 10-year yield along with the adjusted risk premium to account for local market conditions and TJH specific risk profile, right? Cool. So those are your target prices: 456, 407 by Scotia, 456, I believe, by NCB. Is it 456? 443? 443, and then 630 by Sagicor. All right. All right, let me see what comments you guys have. Okay. I thought Candy was talking to themselves. Okay. Junior Gong lyric line. Okay. Okay. I didn't know that song. All right, you guys are, yeah, exactly, Orville. Different angles for sure. Still waiting on dividend ratio. What are you talking about here? For Dolphin Cove or TransJamaica, let me know. I'm not going to share any predictions for Dolphin Cove or TransJamaica publicly. Again, I have to save something for the challenge community. So we have a lot to talk about tomorrow, is what I'll say. So that's it. Let me see if I was gonna check on Instagram. We're not live on Instagram. So I hope. Let me see if there's anything else I want to say before I go and end this stream. I love this image, by the way, is what I'll say. TransJamaica. I should look at how the USD1 trades. I should do that actually. Let me see the volume here, because maybe the USD is some opportunity. Ooh. It's not a lot of volume though. I'm not sure if I'm good with this volume. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Yeah. There are so many stocks that are. There's a stock that entered my watch list this week. A really nice dividend stock. I was pointed to the stock by someone. I won't call the name. And I'm thinking about it. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, because I really had to question, right? So the one thing I'll say about Dolphin Cove is that they're yet to announce a dividend. They haven't announced a dividend in a minute, right? So let me just say that. But when the thing happened with them, what I did think about is, okay, do I need to be looking at another dividend stock? And so I have been thinking about that since the announcement, right? Laverne, you are welcome. Sean is saying, I'm the one pushing Dolphin Cove's price. Wow. Be careful that the FSC doesn't see your statement. I would not want my channel to be blocked. I don't push anything. I don't do anything like that. I would make it a priority to join if the... Sir, you see? These are the kind of statements that get me in trouble, you know. Please, don't do that, sir. I'm not that type of influencer. There are persons who do that, and I am not one of them. I have one challenge this year, and it's not having enough money. Guys, I don't know if you see the opportunities that I see, right? I can talk about that for the rest of the time. I think this is gonna be a great year. I think I've said it before. It's gonna be a great year for accumulation. Okay, guys, in the challenge, you can ask me about this tomorrow. I'll give you the details. Great year for accumulation. Great year for rebalancing. So right now, I have literally... No, I can't say this either. I've rebalanced my portfolio is what I'll say. I won't say how many stocks I have because you guys can deduce things fairly well. So it's a great year for accumulation, great year for rebalancing, and actually a great year for capital gains. So I'm traditionally, well, no, not traditionally. I'm an investor that invests for both capital gains and dividends, right? I've always been that way. Once I learned about dividends, I was very fascinated, right? Because I get to get cash income while still holding my shares. And then I saw the pandemic, and then I saw stocks like TransJamaican who paid me dividends. And then I said, well, everybody is going to want dividends because interest rates are high. Income is compromised. There are no cap gains to be found. Everybody's going to go to dividend stocks. It's like plain as day to me. And so right now, I am primarily a dividend investor, but I take capital gains maybe 2 or 3 times every year, right? So I took a good amount of profits from my TransJamaican position at about 480 last year, right? So because it was logical. But this year, accumulation, rebalancing, capital gains. This is the year for capital gains. This is a year where you're gonna see some more acquisitions. I'm expecting. I like when is the next stocks to watch? Where are we now? We're in March. A stocks to watch coming end of March. So I'll share my new outlook for you in my stocks to watch. I shared 6 stocks that I'm watching at the start of the year. About 3 of them remain. 3 of them not doing what I'm expecting in terms of where I think the year will shape up. So I'll talk about that when that time comes. But I'm looking at a particular industry. I was going to say the name, but I'll save that for another video. But I'm looking at a particular industry that is positioned to do very well, and we've already seen some clues from it. And I just think that if you're not investing, it's a good time to invest. Now, I'm not telling you to buy TransJamaica. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. That's not my call to tell you. And I don't tell people to do that, right? But you should be investing. You don't have to invest in anything specific. You just have to get started, right? And I think this is one of the best years to do it. I think if this year goes as I'm expecting, then next year will kind of set the stage for a proper rebound. I don't think we'll have a rebound this year, but we'll have more stocks ending the year higher than how the year started, in my opinion. And so last year, the JSE had 3% growth. I'm thinking we can maybe do double-digit growth. I don't know what that would look like in terms of numbers. I haven't done the math, but that would be a good signal for the market. I think we're going to see a lot of new investors with this TransJamaica offer. And so those new investors present an opportunity, right? And I also think a lot of people will trade TransJamaica incorrectly. So I can't wait for that and what that will look like. And I just think that there are a few offers coming out, some APOs coming out. We may see a rights issue. We may see a stock split. And I think it'll just be a good year, right? Is there a way to know that a stock is a dividend stock at IPO? Yes. Yes. This reminds me, by the way, there's a stock that has not paid a dividend that I think is going to pay a dividend very soon. And I can't wait to talk about it. Right? It's not SOS, but I actually spoke to Alan a couple of weeks ago. So I'm hoping that he'll join me soon for an interview, but it doesn't sound like he's ready yet. No, Imran, absolutely not. I reached out to Melanie for an interview. Stanley Motta didn't get a response. So, no. There's always enough money. We're in a KFC drive-thru and my wife is talking about getting a bucket. I'm like, babe, get a coleslaw. And that's... I thought you were going to say, babe, the money we could be buying the bucket of chicken, we could be buying TransJamaica shares. Starlink, you're not having the right conversations with your wife, right? You should show her that all this money you're spending on food could be used to buy shares. Shares give you dividends, and the dividends buy the food, right? Is this the name of... Okay, thank you for reminding me, Sir Sean. Let me share about the challenge right now before I close this stream. So this is the challenge. So there's challenge monthly membership. There's also the annual option. When you sign up for the year, you get 2 months free, and it's not limited to 2025, right? We started this challenge last year, January. This is our second year doing it. We'll be doing it forever, right? So as we scale down content on this channel over time, we'll be doing more content in the community. That's why we're building the community, right? So I'm trying to, so our new community platform has a limit. That limit, we're almost at, we're 20% of the limit in terms of number of members. When we get to that limit, my focus is going to be on the community and on the challenge, right? So the investment challenge is $50 a month, or $497 for the year. In the monthly challenge, we do stock reviews. You get special rates on our like one-on-one consultation and other services. You get access to the entire challenge library. So we do stock reviews. So for example, we did an Atlantic stock review, we did TransJamaican offer review, we did a Wigton stock review, we did with Cinco as well. So we're going to be doing stock reviews. So you notice we don't do stock reviews on this channel anymore. We're doing them inside the challenge community. You get access to the monthly call. We have 2 calls per month, a mid-month call and a month-end call. We're having the month-end call for February this weekend because last week we did like a bunch of videos. I wanted to give everyone a break. So we're doing the monthly call tomorrow, and you get access to our private community. So there's a challenge community specifically that you get access to, and then we're going to have some resources for you. You can join anytime, you can cancel anytime. You can manage your account by yourself. If you join it for a couple of months, you'll be like, well, I don't think I need to be a part of this anymore. I want to cancel, you can cancel. If you join and you say, well, I want to lock in for the year, I think I'm going to learn everything that I need to learn, you can save yourself 20% and sign up. And from time to time, we do offer special discounts inside the community, inside the general community. I don't foresee any discounts coming up anytime soon because you already have 20% discount here. All right. So that's it, Sean. Okay. What did I do here? Okay, I was trying to figure out what am I looking for here. West Indies petroleum loading? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Imran, I've tried. I have tried, and I have stopped trying. Ricardo, you look familiar to me. Am I connected with you on LinkedIn? Speaking of Wigton, I bought on the 500K last year. I've been wondering what's really going. Your thoughts? The challenge community has my thoughts. Mr. Hanson, or is sign up? Okay, I get what you're saying. I mean, so what I can say is that we spoke about Wigton and we did the stock review for it 3 weeks ago. I will just say that we had a discussion as a community. I shared my thoughts on the potential future. Person shared their thoughts. It was just a general discussion. Now, I think there are lots of good things that are said about the industry. Now, Wigton has diversified their streams of revenue. That was good to see. But that transition is going to take some time. Wigton is not a dividend stock. I don't view them as that. And their business model is still reliant on their old way of doing it, for now at least. So I personally want to see that transition to the other revenue streams that they've been working on come to full effect. I think that's when you start to see them gain some momentum in terms of revenues and profitability. And that's what I can say for now, sir. Hopefully that helps you. I'm thinking that Wigton not really giving me confidence whether it's going or coming. I can't blame you for saying that, sir. RPL Fesco, da 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 da. I'm not hinting anything, sir. I said what I said. All right. Who's saying they wanted more what? Oh, Dolphin Cove Dip was a great opportunity. Okay, I didn't see that statement. Well, that is one of, so we went through the broker reviews just now, and they spoke about this thing called the risk. That would be a big risk for that company, sir. That little thing called wind. Right? All right, guys. Great stream. Is Haley still here? Let me find out if my wife is asleep. Haley, you still want me to go live in the challenge community? Let me know. Maybe worth it to do a stream, but we're going live tomorrow. Incognito shared. Oh, thank you. I don't know who shared it with me, but I appreciate you. And summer report. You guys are cool. Marvo, were you on the community call the other day? Thank you, Marvo. And yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. I'll go live tomorrow because it's 11:35. I have Bible study tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and I don't want to be late for that, or I don't want to be tired for that. And I have some coaching calls tomorrow, some consultations, because I'm helping all of my clients in terms of like investment strategy right now, especially some persons are trying to decide, for example, what strategy they should take right now. Because here's the thing, and I'll say this, and not every IPO is worth going into. Not every market opportunity is worth going into, and there are ways that you need to be thinking about building a portfolio, right? So let me give some free advice for 20 seconds, right? So for every, you need to stop thinking about investing as one opportunities, right? It's great when you can make a quick 20%, 30%, that's nice. What you need to be doing is building a portfolio. You need to be thinking about building a portfolio that will serve you for the next 20, 30, 40 years. This idea that you want to know the next stock or the next thing that's going to give you 50%, 100%, investing is more than that, right? So build a portfolio that can help you to realize your goals, but build it in a strategic way. Don't build it by taking stock picks or looking for clues on social media or clues in community groups. You're not actually building a portfolio. You're flipping. If you're flipping, that can only last you so long, right? And flips have a big downside, right? And at least 20, 30% of the time, you're going to find yourself holding a stock that's not going anywhere because you bought it too late, right? Because I imagine some persons would have bought TransJamaican at $4.98, saw the price go down, panic sold, and now they're like, I don't know if I should buy the offer or not, because they bought, not knowing why they bought, saw the price go down, lost 20%, 30%, panic sold, and now they're like, they don't understand investing. So they're like, do I buy it? Does it make sense? Do I this? Do I that? You don't want to invest that way, right? You want to invest in a way that you're building a portfolio. And that's the kind of thing that we focus on in our challenge community. That's what I focus on with my coaching clients. That's what I focus on with my one-on-one clients, right? So I'm not, so that's what I'll say. That's my only advice. And FSC, I don't know if you'll stop me for saying that, but I think that's within my boundaries here, right? Denville says that's why I buy shares in companies that are almost considered needs. That has pros and cons. Sean, you are going to have more of these opportunities this year, true, but okay. So if you guys think that I have any sizable portfolio, there's a reason why I got there, right? You have to start investing strategically. And when you invest, and Ryan Strawn was in our challenge community last month, we spoke about this a little bit there as well. You have to be thinking in a certain way when you're investing, right? And so it's when I made my first 50,000 investing, it was great. My first 100,000, it was great. But I realized that the way that I made that wasn't necessarily the same way I could make my first million or make my first 2 million, right? So when the largest profit I ever took from a stock is about $3 million. That wasn't something that I could have done over 2 months, right? No, not saying that's impossible, but I would rather set up something sizable like that than chasing a quick 10% here or a quick 20% there, right? And the stock that I took profit from is multiple hundreds of percent, right? And that was meaningful for me. And it wasn't any life-changing research. It was just basic research and strategy, right? So please, guys, don't, not saying I'm telling you what to do as an investor, and I'm not concerned about every single investor everywhere, because I do think that there are multiple ways to invest, etc. But for my community, the persons who listen to what I have to say, the persons who value my opinion, I want you to invest with sense, right? I can take 2 more questions because I like the idea of rounding this out at 90 minutes. So I'll take two questions, and I'll just say that look out for something to be a game changer for the market very soon. And when it comes, just don't say you weren't ready. Any idea why 2 senior directors dumped their shares before this offer for sale? Which 2? And where did you see that notice? Share it with me. Sean, what's wrong with you? Sean, what's your problem with Dolphin Cove? What's your problem with Dolphin Cove? Right? But directors sell TransJamaica all the time. Directors buy TransJamaica all the time. That's quite normal. And here's the thing, Samuel, I'd be looking to see if those directors add to their shares with the offer, because if they knew the offer was coming, maybe they just decided to buy at a lower price. Who knows? Yeah, Christopher, Sean just sound like the definition of bad mind. All right. All right, so I think we'll close it off here, guys. Okay. Just checking to see if there are any comments that I missed. Guys, if you asked any questions and I missed it, now is your chance to repost it. If you have not liked this video, I'm asking you for a like, please. It would mean a lot to me. I don't usually ask for likes. I think it's kind of distasteful. 255 viewers, 53 likes. It's about 20%. Guess that's how it works. When is the 1JS interview? I don't know, Sean. I was actually hoping to be able to interview Javane, but we have not been able to work it out. So I'm not sure, actually. Ivan reduced stays from 19 mil to about 5 mil. Ivan had 19 mil? Interesting. I never saw that. I'd have to ask him. Getting ready, set it in chat. Yeah. Flippers. Yes, sir. Right. Inside. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't see it out. So it's interesting that you mentioned in insider trading, actually, Samuel, because I thought about that concept and what it would mean. I mean, insider trading is, so I mean, I don't think there's any way for those in leadership of the company not to know things that are happening with the company. But I think the things that they have to kind of protect against that is like blackout periods, etc. But I don't know how. So for example, well, it's not as common anymore, but yeah, I won't say what I was gonna say. Check the top 10 shareholders for the quarterly report. Okay, all right, cool, I will. Thanks for that. And I like those things, right, Samuel? Thanks for sharing that. I like when I get information that maybe I didn't catch or didn't notice before. So I appreciate that. Okay. Who else? So you mentioned 2 directors. Samuel, tell me who else. All right. And guys, if you see Sean in the challenge, I don't know if he'll join, but be nice to him, okay? Once he's a part of the community, we're all friends. I think Sean is already a part of our general community, so it's all cool, Sean. I understand, and I like when persons share their perspectives. I think that's how it should be. Susan is the next one. Okay, I'll check it out. Thanks for that. But if you can take screenshots, send it to me. That's cool too. All right, cool. So I'll check those out. Let me check the community groups. Sometimes persons message me questions. And okay. All right, but there are a couple of things other that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want to have to merge the videos here. So yeah, I'll do that. But there's, guys, just subscribe to our news feed if you haven't done that already. Let me share the link to the monthly investment challenge for those who may want to join. Monthly investment challenge. As I said, we have our monthly meeting tomorrow, and so we have a lot to talk about there. All right. Okay, everyone. So I'll see you on the next video. May not go live next week, but it depends on how the week goes. If I see an announcement I'm expecting, I may go live, but we'll see. All right, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. Challenge community members, I'll see you tomorrow.
Learning is the key to successful investing. And who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest.